Innovation is the practical implementation of ideas that result in the introduction of new goods and services or improvement in offering goods and services. Education, being an essential tool for development, is a product and service that requires constant reinvention, redesign, and innovation. The Tertiary Education Trust Fund, being an agency of government that provides funding for educational facilities and infrastructure development, in addition to promoting creative and innovative approach to educational learning and service, has in recent times shown its passion for innovation as part of its paradigm shift towards research and development. Professor Suleiman Elias Bogoro, the Executive Secretary of TETFund, provides a detailed explanation as to why an investment in R&D is inevitable if Nigeria is serious about emerging as a solid economy within the shortest time possible.
Research and development is an acronym, R&D as it's called. The R&D acronym is very familiar to all of us. But sometimes we have to deconstruct the real essence and the purpose for R&D as a reference in the context of making research count for development. That is what R&D is all about. That for too long, besides the fact that you said in a Nigerian tertiary institution, particularly a university, where for most of the time overemphasized teaching at the expense of research, and that it was going the wrong way. Yes, they are complementary. If you do research, you must communicate by way of imparting that knowledge, and that's what teaching does. But that teaching does not perfect research. It's research that improves teaching. And more importantly, that the outcome of research must be used to make a difference.
One of the most innovative concepts for tertiary education in Nigeria is the National Open University of Nigeria, a federal open and distance learning institution, the first of its kind in the West African sub-region. It is Nigeria's largest tertiary institution in terms of student number and is popularly referred to as NOUN. The National Open University was initially established on the 22nd of July 1983 as a springboard for open and distance learning in Nigeria. At the takeoff of the university, pioneer student enrollment stood at 32,400. As of 2011, NOUN had about 57,759 students. It has over 75 study centers throughout the country and offers over 50 programs and 750 courses. By its nature as an ODL institution, NOUN does not provide lectures to students in normal classrooms, except some certain study centers. The study center in Lagos, for instance, provides lectures to all its law undergraduates and supplies necessary course materials to all students after the payment of tuition fees. All the courses being offered by the university have been accredited by the National Universities Commission. The Vice Chancellor of NOUN is Professor Femi Peters. He speaks to the paradigm shift, providing a historical dimension of the university.
The National Open University of Nigeria was established by an Act 1983, then known as National Open University. But in 1984, it was suspended just by denying it some funds to operate. Now, not until President Obasanjo came in 1999 that an attempt to resuscitate the university came about. And it wasn't until 2002 that the university was given another life by President Olusegun Obasanjo. He resuscitated it as National Open University, still relying on the act that was never abolished, that was used to establish the university. Although in 2018, we now have another act amending the 1983 Act. Now we now have a National Open University of Nigeria Act 2018. And that basically is the legal instrument for the establishment of the National Open University of Nigeria. We used to have our headquarters in Lagos, Ahmadu Bello Way, but in 2016, under the Vice Chancellor, Professor Abdallah Adamu, the headquarters moved to Abuja. And we've been at this magnificent, sprawling area of the town in Abuja.
As with many other institutions, TETFund has made its mark on the university, funding numerous intervention projects, particularly when it comes to infrastructure.
We owe our existence in Abuja to the TETFund. Unknown to many, most of our buildings here were under the special intervention of the TETFund. And without TETFund, we probably would still be groping, not knowing, not having enough structures to be able to take in our staff and our operations. Virtually all the structures there were through the grace of TETFund. And so if any university says TETFund is important, I think it will be less important than we have ascribed to it. Because without TETFund, we simply wouldn't have any buildings. And we're very grateful to TETFund for the support they gave yesterday and the support they are giving today. And we hope that they will still continue to give us the support tomorrow. National Open University of Nigeria is a university unique in its existence. Has study centers in all nooks and crannies of this university. The university alone itself, of course, cannot therefore fund the erection of structures and the operations. So we rely a lot on TETFund, and TETFund has been alive to its responsibilities. Anytime we made a request of special intervention, TETFund has always been to our rescue. So we are very grateful to TETFund.
This particular building is Administrative Block 2, and as you can see right there is the 2014 Special Intervention Project, including all of these external works and this green area. We are here in the OPD 2014 Special Intervention Project. This building is the March Annual Intervention Project 2014 to 2016. This is the one we call Administrative Building Block 1. This one is the Faculty Building, which is the 2014-2015 Special Intervention Project. This is the Senate Building of the Hallowed Chamber of the University. This is the 2017-2019 Annual Intervention Project. Yes, again, we are here with another ongoing project, 2017, 2018, 2019 March Annual Intervention Project. We are here to see a building that makes Open University different from other conventional universities. This building is virtual facilitation laboratory building. This is where it has about 250 seating capacity for students that they are able to communicate with themselves in all of these other different centers. This is 2014 to 2016 March Annual Intervention Project from TETFund. This building that we are looking at, which is ongoing, is the Academic Staff Office building, which is as a result of the intervention of TETFund.
One of the high-impact projects funded by TETFund at the university is its Senate building, which stands proudly at the heart of campus, welcoming all who visit the institution.
This Senate building is an architectural masterpiece. The design is unique in this country and was designed and built for us by TETFund. Without the Senate building, which is the iconic building in all Nigerian universities, the National Open University of Nigeria is no exception. So we take very seriously this.
From the 1st of January 2019 till December 2020 alone, 4,798 scholars have been sponsored from universities, polytechnics and colleges of education across the nation for master's and PhD programs globally by TETFund. It is under the same period in review, TETFund sponsored academic and non-academic staff of beneficiary institutions to attend 11,719 academic conferences, workshops, which were attended by various public higher institutions across Nigeria, and also teaching practice supervision by the agency numbering 16,013. Academic staff development programs have also been provided by TETFund to the National Open University.
We've gotten rather lately into that aspect of TETFund intervention. But within that short time that we've gotten, things have been wonderful. Currently now, 2 of our staff, senior staff, are in the Morgan State University in the United States of America in Maryland, Baltimore.
For academic training, yes, they are doing a lot. For instance, we have some of our PhD holders that went for postdoctoral in Morgan State University right now. So that's a good one. And I must commend the chief executive of TETFund for this intervention. There are also some of our academic staff that are also penciled down for PhD training in the same organ, maybe because of the relationship or collaboration that TETFund has with TETFund has with Morgan State University. So there are some of our PhD holders that have been penciled down for PhD programs. In fact, their documents are right now with TETFund, awaiting the approval from that end. So I must confess that our directorate is really benefiting from TETFund. For instance, before now, there was nothing like postdoctoral. There was nothing like that. Though they sponsor people for PhD or masters, but there was nothing like that. So one of our staff is right now in the US. He used to be the desk officer for TETFund for this our organization. He liaises with TETFund. So I think TETFund has done marvelous intervention into our directorate and in the life of our staff, both academic and non-academic.
Some beneficiaries of TETFund-sponsored training programs spoke candidly about the interventions they benefited from and their impact.
Yes, I'm beneficiary to scholarship for my PhD with University of Bradford. It's a 5 years program. I just completed it about some month ago, so I have to come back to impart my contribution to the knowledge to my institution. And I'm very, very grateful for the intervention. If not for the intervention, I don't know how I will survive with getting my PhD done outside the country. Yeah, the value is going to add a great value, because now we are even planning to get a Department of Diversity Management in the institution. We are going to write to the VC very soon to establish such department here in the institution, so that we have more diversified people, the male and the female together, and most particularly there will be no discrimination in attending the courses too, and even in the institution too. And we find out that this will encourage more female students to attend the course particularly, because it's all about diversity management, and we look at the irrespective of your culture, race, that the program will be. It will help everybody.
I benefited from TETFund intervention in the year 2019, October to be precise. That was when I was sent for a training on human capital management at ASCOM. That's Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, Badagry. As an individual in administrative work or administrative duties, it has taken me to the next level. Yes. You see, the job is being done with ease. And, from the benefit derived from that training, at least I've been able to even mentor and coach so many of my colleagues. If I say colleagues, both junior and even senior colleagues, right? So it wasn't I alone that benefited from that professional training. I came back to impact more. I must say you that what I acquired there, even I have them in archive. I didn't know that I would be called this, but it has been, they are my Bible. because whenever I'm at crossroad, I will go in there, consult it. This is the last one I went for, through TETFund. I didn't know, but they're always with me to consult.
I am so grateful to TETFund. I benefited from TETFund intervention last year. Shortly before COVID got to Nigeria, I actually went for AIEA, Association of International Education Administrators in Washington, D.C. last year, between February 16th and 18th. The conference was more about rethinking, collaborating, and then moving the global education forward. I interacted with participants from all over the world, and in that conference we all shared our challenges and how to move education system forward. And on getting here, I put to practice, because part of it was that freedom in where you work. The people that work with you, if they are not free, they will not be able to put in their best. It's about rethinking what we are doing now. How can we do it better? And by the time I came back, it has really helped me in my units and then in the National Open University of Nigeria.
I benefited from the institutional research fund from TETFund, in which I was able to conduct a research on classification and characterization of soils of the National Open University farm in Kaduna. I was also a part of the participants that went for capacity building on development of fundable research, on the development of fundable research proposals that TETFund conducted that was held in Dubai. As an individual, the first one gave me the opportunity to be able to carry along some of the technical staff as well as the academic staff in the faculty to determine or characterize the soil that is within the campus environment. So it kind of built capacity in the system for research and enabled some level of mentorship of the younger academicians behind me. It also enabled us to be able to actually determine the nature of the soil that we have and profile management solutions that will bring about greater productivity on the soil. Because the thrust of the research was the fact that the soil has been used over the years and it is no longer productive, even where fertilizers, inorganic fertilizers have been applied.
I obtained a TETFund sponsorship to undertake PhD degree at the University of Buckingham, United Kingdom, 2015 to 2018. The difference is that it enabled me to acquire the research skill I needed to. One thing about undertaking PhD is that at the end, I think you are fully initiated into research world. So I was able to study and also mentored by seasoned scholars, many from the university. So it gave me opportunity to interact with them, network with them, and also tap from their wealth of experience. So I returned a better person as a researcher, and very soon I have 2 books that I will be publishing, that has been published, that will be presented to the public 2nd of November on anti-corruption law and legal drafting.
Libraries play an important role towards the achievement of the goals of tertiary institutions. An academic institution cannot be able to provide for the academic, intellectual, and other interests and information needs of students without the services of good libraries. Last year, the Executive Secretary of TETFund, Professor Suleiman, Bogoro, revealed that as of January 2019, over 16 billion naira was disbursed to universities for the purpose of making their libraries well-equipped for learning and research. Beyond the provision of books, periodicals, equipment, and other reading resources, TETFund has also aided in the construction and reconstruction of libraries, all in the bid to ensure that the quality of education and research in public tertiary institutions improves. The library at the National Open University is a shining example of this TETFund-supported initiative.
We have had a very cordial and I think robust relationship. Since I came in, we were able to access our TETFund funds from 2013 up to 2016. We have already accessed that and we have already utilized that. And currently, we are working on that of 2017 to 2020 March altogether. So we have already submitted and we are waiting for the approval in principle. So I think virtually TETFund has helped us towards developing a library. Look at this structure itself. This is also built by TETFund, because when we came to Abuja from Lagos, there was no specific building for a library. But this happened within this short period. So I think we are very grateful to TETFund and to government for making this realizable. Individual study centers in various states, they just have a very small enclosure and then it is called a library. We lack a kind of a permanent structure in the headquarters as a library. And I think that is why this one came up in 2017. Now, apart from that, we have also accessed the library fund in terms of books acquisition. We have acquired over 10,000 books now through TETFund. We have also developed our own in-house resources in terms of local collection, all with the help of TETFund. Particularly, however, I think that question is directed to our level of intervention so far. And I think from 2013, like I said earlier, up to 2017, we have accessed the TETFund Library Development Fund to the tune of about 240 million. And that is what helped us to actually come up with this new structure and then all the library needs that we have.
Now, more than ever before, it's vital to fully fund higher education in Nigeria. We not only have an obligation to provide access to quality, transformational education, but we also owe it to our communities who benefit greatly from the economic, cultural, and intellectual impact of higher education. Education is indeed transformational. It is not just about learning a trade or acquiring knowledge in a certain discipline. Earning a degree also opens pathways to happier, healthier, more fulfilled lives.
TETFund, it's a wonderful body. I wish them well. I wish them to be focused the way they've been and to really be, sustain what they've been doing to Nigerian universities. Without TETFund, I think Nigerian universities will have continued to go down the drain. But intervention of TETFunds have really raised the bar, and many universities are looking up to TETFund for their survival and for their operational expenses. I wish TETFund well. I wish my university well. And I wish the relationship between my university and TETFund continues to grow. We hope to get more benefit that will add value and increase the capacity of Nigerians generally. The National Open University of Nigeria is everywhere. So we, more than any other university, has a stake in this country. And we continue to hope that we'll be able to meet that mandate given to us by the federal government of Nigeria.
Kudos to TETFund, and it's our prayer that it continues to offer the services it's offering to tertiary institutions in Nigeria and even to individuals.
TETFund supports public tertiary institutions to provide the nation with knowledgeable, skilled citizens who care about Nigeria and work to make their communities better. With intervention funding, TETFund can continue to inspire these students so that when they graduate, they can impact their communities. We not only need to keep our extraordinary homegrown talent, but we also need to promote our top-ranked and unique educational programs beyond our national borders and overseas. And that is the paradigm shift.